Go.
Okay. We're introducing. Oh, I'm Khadijah James, and CJ Pinion is my partner, and we're introducing Professor Tony.
How
Um,
you guys doing?
you can state your name and age if you want to.
Is she serious? Professor Tony, and I'm not baby booming yet. Does that give you a whole lot of information?
What type of work did you perform?
We're talking about the military, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was what's called a quartermaster or logistics specialist, supply and logistics. Basically what I did was I moved things around, got things built, and that's one of the reasons you see my brother's keeper being built in the form of a military canteen. And my MOS is 92 Yankee, if we're talking military terms.
And what does MOS Yankee mean?
MOS Yankee means everybody that's in the military has a particular job. Every job or occupation has a number. So MOS stands for Military Occupational Specialty. There are about, I guess, 200 to 300 MOSs, and that was basically my MOS. That's what I chose to go to school for.
Okay.
Okay.
Why did you enlist?
I enlisted because I got kicked out of college the first time. And I decided to go in the military. Hey, what? You chuckling, but hey, that's the deal. I tell the truth about it all the time. It was an opportunity, and I realized an opportunity to go in the military and to complete college without depending on my parents.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Do you recall your first days in service?
I remember that my first days in service would have been boot camp, and it was hell. I realized I was in the land of the crazy when they kicked me off the back of a cattle truck with everything I owned. So I realized it was going to be a little tough.
Do you remember your instructors?
I do. I remember Drill Sergeant Canberra, who was pathological. I remember Drill Sergeant Walker, who was handsome but crazy. And I remember Drill Sergeant Mitchell, who tried to keep it all together. It was kind of a crazy situation, but it's etched in my mind because I think a lot of the drill sergeants that really gave us a hard time were probably some of the best instructors.
How did you get through it?
I prayed. I prayed and I did the jobs that no one else wanted to do, I guess. I made sure that I kept up with the guys. I was probably part of the first co-ed group at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, which is where I went to basic training.
Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences, and were you awarded any medals, and did you get them?
Some of my first experiences were that a lot of females were not expected to actually finish basic training, and some of the medals that I got were Army Achievement medals, a couple of those, a Good Conduct Medal, an Overseas Service Ribbon, quite a few ribbons, quite a few medals, and you begin to rack those up over the years.
For your life, how did you stay in touch with your family?
During that time, by phone, letters. My dad used to write me all the time. He was kind of my backbone at that point because, believe it or not, the recruiters had taken a bet that I would not finish basic training. So I had something to prove when I went.
How did you, did you feel pressure or stress?
A lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And I think I felt a lot of pressure because I was smaller than most recruits. So when you are exercising or they're expecting you to do certain things, it's tough when you realize your duffel bag weighs as much as you do. That's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress.
Was there something you did special for good luck?
For good luck. I guess I never forgot why I went in the military. It was really about business for me. My whole goal was to finish college and to get the United States government to pay for it.
Amen.
How do people entertain themselves?
When I got out of school and actually got to my duty station, I noticed that a lot of people entertain themselves by getting drunk, by going out to party. And what I did basically was I studied a lot, and I was there to open the door for those of them that wanted to crawl through and go to their rooms at night. I mean, really, that's basically what I did. I went to school a lot. I went to a lot of schools. I went to the University of Maryland, Central Texas College. Any place where the military was holding college, that's where I went to school. I didn't waste a whole lot of time because my goal was to finish bachelor's, master's, and a PhD by a certain time, and I gave myself that time frame, and I tried to work within that time frame.
Where did you travel to when you were in service?
I traveled to Wiesbaden, Germany. I went to Okinawa, Japan. I went to Seoul and Pyeongtaek, South Korea. Probably been on every single base in this country, from the east to the north. I think my favorite base was Fort Lewis, Washington. That's where I left the military from. I like Fort Carson, Colorado, because they couldn't run us all the time because of the altitude. I don't know. I liked a lot of bases. I love Fort Lee because of the food. Got really fat there. But that southern home style cooking, I really liked Fort Lee. Kind of traveled everywhere. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was one of my goals. I wanted to travel because I knew that when I left the military, I probably wouldn't see any of those places again. So that was one of my reasons for wanting to travel.
Do you recall any humorous or unusual events?
Unusual events, I was probably... I was in a battalion where most of the upper echelon were arrested for rape and a lot of assaults against women. So I was probably in one of the first Army units where we basically began to talk about sexual assaults against women in the military. Ebony Magazine did a spread on us, basically trying to figure out how we were doing, you know, what was basically going on in basic training. And that's one of the reasons you see a lot of the cases today. A lot of women are afraid to speak up when they've been sexually assaulted in the military, but things are getting better.
What are the upper epsilon that you were talking about?
Upper echelon is our command sergeant major was